We had a wonderful tour of the entire world and we wanted India. And here it is, towards Viksit Bharat. What a wonderful situation. And what is the grand dream for Viksit Bharat? You all know? It is $30 trillion economy, zero poverty, and sustainability and world-class infrastructure. So is this possible? Yeah, it's a big dream of the entire government now and the citizens. But I made a small calculation when I was making this presentation. We were 0.48 trillion in 2000, 4.2 now, and even if we grow at 7.2% CAGR and 1% rupee appreciation, every year we will reach to 24 trillion. Maybe a better rupee appreciation will lead to 30. But even if it is 24 trillion, not 30, we will be growing 50 times in 47 years. Is it not wonderful? It does not deserve a big clap? Big round of applause. That's wonderful. Joining this career in 2000 at the age of 20 years, when he retired at 65, 70, he would have seen from 0.48 trillion to $24 trillion. So we don't know what is going to happen in 2047. We don't know. Every day is a new surprise for us. Tariff, global disruption. It's very difficult to have a crystal ball and gaze into the future. But can't we see 5 years ahead, 2030, on the way to Viksit Bharat? Where are we now and where will we be in the next 5 years? So I have made this presentation just to cover the next 5 years. In the 3 areas of infrastructure, manufacturing and demographic dividend. Why these 3 areas? Because these cover 90% of the GDP contribution, these 3 areas. And in infrastructure it is road, rail and airport, energy and power and digital infra. Let us quickly see the road infra. We are the second largest road network in the world. And there is a small confusion. America also has got around 66 lakhs or 6.6 million kilometers. It is any time now or in 2027, not in 26, it could possible that India will be the largest road network in the world. Largest road network in the world. It's a huge amount of capex, infrastructure, equipment, and we are going to about 70 lakh kilometers in 2030. That is the projection. For everywhere I try to mention the source and what I will find in the internet. The second pillar is Indian Railways, and I was shocked when I found that $600 billion is envisaged to be spent on network expansion, electrification, modernization, rolling stock, safety, infrastructure, and I asked whether this metro rail also is a part of this. No, metro is not a part of this. Metro will be funded through some different activity. So $600 billion, if it is going to come into the system, imagine how much of welding is going to be required, how much of other paraphernalia is going to be required. So it's a huge amount of opportunity in railway, though we are 4th largest in the world, but it's a huge amount of potential in railway. Then the third comes is the airports. In the first 75 years, we had 140 airports. And the next 5 years, we are going to have 50 new airports. So imagine the amount of other development will happen with the help of airports, the restaurants, hotels, connectivity. So overall, filling to the entire economy, with Navi Mumbai airport being inaugurated yesterday, and the Jewar airport which is going to come in a much bigger way, and the regional connectivity, and the small Udan aircraft connecting smaller cities. So huge and humongous opportunity in terms of airports. And the scale of 50 airports in only 5 years itself shows that how much we have to go in this next 5 years. Now comes the energy infrastructure. Just see, in 2020 we have 370 gigawatts with 23% in renewables. In 2025 we have 476 gigawatts with 49% renewables, and it's a beautiful initiative of the government to go to 500 gigawatts with 67% green energy. Wind, solar, hydrogen, green energy. Green energy helps us a lot because we have to be less dependent upon crude, because that drains our exchequer with foreign reserves. So that is one advantage, and we will be manufacturing it in India, so it gives a lot of employment opportunity, and sustainable goals and zero emissions will be achieved in years to come. And thanks to Kamal Saab and the entire team of Fronius, when I was doing research, I found that such a huge opportunity in this thing, so I bought Power Finance Corporation shares, I bought NTPC shares, and I bought which other company? Power Grid. Because you need to finance, you need to manufacture, and you need to transfer power. And believe me, these three areas is going to see next 15, 20 years a huge amount of surge in terms of the enhancement of capacity. So two infrastructures there. Now to make all these, whether it is roads, whether it is railways, whether it is power, transmission lines, you require equipment. And I am from this industry, 30 years in equipment. You know, it started with 87,000 units in 2021. We closed 24-25 at 1,43,582 units actual. And as per ICMA, Indian Construction Equipment Manufacturing Association, if we continue same rate of growth, we are going to go about 2,66,583. And what you call as yellow goods, these are the machines which require welding. These are the machines which require component, and those components require welding. So overall, the amount of infrastructure, overall the amount of ancillary units that are going to benefit out of this, the entire growth is huge. And we will be one of the top producers of equipment worldwide. People are going to have a shock here. Fronius was too early, about 12 years back, but there are so many people considering to come to India and have a setup over here. So we talked about the third type of infrastructure, which is the digital infrastructure. The number of people using internet in 2020 was 43% with 662 million. 55% now with that 806 million, and 1 billion people will be using internet by 2030. Is it not huge? 1 billion people using internet. The UPI transaction, COVID which has ushered this UPI transaction, India is a role model for UPI transaction which many people, many countries want to emulate. Will have 60 billion transactions per month. Is it not huge? 60 billion transactions per month from 2 billion transactions per month. What does this require? This requires data centers. From 125 data centers in 2020, we are going to 400 data centers. Economic growth, digital infrastructure, and improved data center. Huge amount. A data center requires a lot of infrastructure. Everything is related to each other. Every one area where we develop, the overall economy gets developed. We are talking about the second pillar. Now we only covered the first pillar, which is infrastructure. The second pillar is manufacturing. With 60 to 70% to India's GDP ratio in 2020, we dropped to 14 to 15%. Why was that? COVID, yeah. COVID really will give a big disruption because for it to again, the engine to start again takes time. The pandemic was a big drain. Again, the country is aspiring 20 to 25% of the GDP share because of manufacturing. Okay, so people ask, is it possible to have 1 million manufacturing? Yes. Robust policy frameworks, PLI schemes are beginning to pick up. GST reduction will give enhanced consumption, and when consumption is there, private capex will come. Increasing local consumption and public sentiments for made in India, all these things will push us towards 1 million manufacturing by 2030. Demographic dividend. The third pillar, demographic dividend. 48%, 662 million people were in the working age. 53% by today, which is about 774 million. But just imagine, 1 billion people in the working age by 2030. 1 billion people, which is 1/3 of the entire working population in the world. China at that time will have 800 million. When we will have 1 billion working age, it's a monster. We have to give them food, we have to give them work, we have to give them, at the same time, it is an asset also. 1 billion people out of 1.5 billion working age population, the huge demographic boon to this country, and that will propel us to 2047. So what it means, larger workforce, higher production, increased savings in capital equipment, domestic market consumption, boost for innovation, entrepreneurship, startups and global competitiveness. The next 5 years, if it is going to look so very promising, just imagine the next 17 years after that. So the way forward, have belief for conviction and passion. Quickly adapt because nazar hati, durghatna ghati. If you just miss the bus, somebody will encash. Empower people because we need to have leaders to do. We have to empower, create an empowered team because this particular scale of achievement cannot be done with limited number of people. We need to collaborate. And like Kamaji said in 2013, when the people trusted this brand and waited for 10 months to get the equipment or parts from outside paying there. So that sort of collaboration is required and we have to leverage AI for efficiency and scale. So if everything is done, then there will be a lot of doubts in the minds of people. Is it achievable? Is it realistic? Every slide I try to put it in the chat GPT and AI and ask whether it is true, whether it is true, whether it is true, whether it is possible. And only one thing I got, it's possible, but. So failure is never a crime. People think that failure is a crime. Failure is not a crime. What is a crime? Having a low aim is a crime. And if you don't have a low aim and if you have a high aim, if each one of us has got a high aim and do our best, irrespective of what happens, we will not go towards Vikas Bharat, we will be in Viksit Bharat. Thank you very much.
By looking at it, it doesn't